Welcome to the Sentimental Twist,
where two generations share one love for meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Melissa.
Let's gather around the table and talk home, hosting, and all things sentimental.
Yay!
We are halfway there. Well, this is halfway episode for this season.
Yeah, episode 5. I know it goes by so fast. I was thinking the other day, like, when are we going to gather back up to do season 4? You know? Anyway.
ASAP.
This is episode 5. What, dear?
I said ASAP because people get mad when we take too long of a break.
They do. They don't like it. I am Melissa, and you can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram. Homewithatwist.com is my website. And then I'm on YouTube at Home with a Twist.
Yes. And I'm at Brittany Shepard on Instagram, Brittany Shepard TSD on YouTube, and thesentimentaldecorator.com.
So what have you been up to this week?
Well, this episode is airing March 26th. And as we speak, or if you're listening to this on the 26th, I am having my right knee replaced, or I'm in recovery this moment. But so that being said, what I've been up to is preparing for that and getting ready to do that.
Having been, in a similar situation when I had my knee reconstruction, I didn't have a replacement. I just had knee reconstruction. Just take care of you. You're the only thing that is important right now. Nothing else matters. And I know you've got a good support team.
Yes.
And I know you have a big circle of friends that want to support you. So
yes.
If anybody wants to send goodwill blessings to Brittany, send us an email at thesentimentaltwistpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. I probably needed it 10 years ago, but my doctor said not until you're at least 40. And so, yeah, I've been told, he told me after the first set of x-rays was, you get around pretty good for someone with 80-year-old knees. And so it's time. I always said my body is older than I am. So it is time to have a new knee.
I wonder why he set 40 as the age.
Well, for me, like 40 would be the earliest. He'd rather do it much later because of the, lifetime of a replacement and having to have revisions and things like that, possibly, depending on how long I live. But I think because I'm 40, it's a little bit less likely for me to need multiple revisions at this point. So,
So he's trying to get you to wait as long as possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you? What you been up to?
It's cold here today, so I have on a sweater. Getting ready to celebrate Easter.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about today.
Yes, lots of good Easter things.
My nibblings will be coming for Easter, and Aunt Peggy, and so we're going to dye Easter eggs and all the things. So I'm looking forward to planning my menu, which I'm going to talk a little bit about menu. We're going to talk about menu today, actually.
Okay, that's fun.
Okay,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get started, though, I want to show you my drink.
Oh, how cute!
Until because it may melt by the time we talk about what this is.
I love it.
You will love it. Let me just say, it's got one of your favorite things in it.
I can't wait. Okay, ready for segment 1?
Yes.
All right, segment 1 is Easter and sentimental memories. So we're going to talk about an Easter with a sentimental twist.
Yeah.
And the memories behind Easter that we have, meaningful traditions, and simple ways to host Easter gatherings. So what does Easter feel like for you emotionally, Melissa? Do you have anything about that?
Yeah, I feel like Easter is almost kind of like another new year. It's new beginnings. Obviously, there's the religious part of Easter for many people who celebrate Easter, Passover for our Jewish friends. And I like spring for the renewal. It's just kind of like we've had a chance to lament over things and be quiet and reflect.
Yeah.
Now it's time to watch things grow and blossom and renew ourselves. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I kind of think about gratitude. We always focus on gratitude for Thanksgiving, but I feel like Easter is also a great time to be thankful, especially because if you are a believer and faith is a part of your Easter celebration, I'm grateful that I don't have to be perfect to earn love and forgiveness in the sight of God, because the only perfect person took the place for me, and I'm grateful that even though I'm still imperfect, I'm growing and changing and becoming sanctified in Christ, and I'm already loved enough to be redeemed without being perfect. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
That's, you know, but yeah, I love that about renewal. I feel that way too. I feel that way about spring because everything's popping up and blooming and like the whole world is new
Fresh.
in a way. Yeah. You ever heard the song Every Season's Change by Nicole Nordeman? Y'all should look it up if you haven't. It's a really sweet. It goes through each season of the year, but it's a really about making all things new during spring. I really love that. So yeah.
Need to have, this kind of attitude when it's 110 degrees outside
Mm.
summer.
Maybe we need to create a new renewal
I don't
holiday
know
for the
because
summertime.
I really dig early spring and early summer because it's not too hot, and then after that, I'm just a sourpuss because it's just
Mm,
so darn hot,
yeah.
and nothing in the garden is growing because it's just, like, it is so hot. Can you
You
help
get
me,
tired of
please?
watering.
Yes, and it doesn't seem like when you water, it doesn't seem like it makes any difference.
Mhm. That's a good point. Okay, let's talk about Easter traditions, food, smells like we do about every holiday. Do you have what comes to mind when you think about Easter traditions in this way?
Not necessarily for our family because we weren't big ham eaters, but I know a lot of people love a good Easter ham
Mhm.
with the scoring and the brown sugar coating and the cloves. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just so romantic to me, but I'm just not a big ham eater. I think ham is what I always think of
You
when I
think
think of
about Easter.
yeah, mhm.
For me, my tradition growing up, I grew up in a little country church, all families that are generations that go to this little church on a dirt road in Southwest Georgia, and my grandparents went there, great-grandparents, that sort of thing, but we have a sunrise service every year, and I still try to go
Mm,
back,
mhm.
and it's not at sunrise anymore, we've kinda pushed it back a little bit, but we have the Easter service, and there's sometimes a play or a Easter program, and then we had breakfast on the grounds, like,
Ugh,
big breakfast, and that is one of my favorite memories because that was, like, the best day, like, all the ladies brought their breakfast casseroles and, cheese grits, things like that, so, I still try to go when my brother and his family are celebrating Easter here and not with my sister-in-law, her family up near Atlanta, so, it's still a tradition, that sunrise service, even though it's not quite a sunrise anymore.
yeah. Do they have
Yeah.
donuts and coffee when
Oh,
you
yeah,
visit them
everything.
here?
I
Yeah.
mean, sweets, savories, all the good breakfasty things that we talk about that we love so much. So, did Easter feel different as a child versus now as an adult when you're, like, hosting or
Oh, sure, because,
participating? Oh, yeah.
when you're a kid, it was all about what did the Easter bunny leave you,
Yeah.
and my mother always bought me a new dress to wear,
Mhm, same.
and what I remember most about my outfit is that it was still a little cool,
Yeah.
so she would make me wear those patterned hose,
Uh-huh.
and they were never long enough, and the crotch would get like, halfway,
It's the
and
worst.
I'd be like Mama, I just I can't, and she'd be like, "Where just make it work." And I
Make
would
it
just be like, "Ugh, I don't like these."
and you always had to have a little white sweater for your
Yes, or your
little
cute little
cardigan.
you
Did
had,
you
like
do gloves? We did not do gloves by the time I don't know if
I
they were
don't think she made
yeah,
me wear gloves,
yeah. A
but
lot of people
definitely I
did.
had a new purse, new pair of shoes, a new dress, and tights from last year.
Mhm. I
Why
love
did she
that.
why did she not buy me new
New
tights? I don't
tights.
know.
New
What
I
about
always did a new
you?
Easter dress too. New Easter dress, and because we had the big breakfast, we didn't do a lunch. We would go home and take a nap. Typically, we would have in our Easter basket a new VHS tape, you know. So,
Ooh.
take a nap, watch a movie. I remember getting The Secret Garden one year for Easter,
Oh,
and
that's a good one. Yeah.
then our friends in town, because we lived in the country, they had a swimming pool, and so the Easter tradition, if it was warm enough, is we would go to Mr. Jerry's house and go to the pool and swim and have an Easter egg hunt, and then grill out hamburgers and hot dogs, like, late afternoon, early evening.
Oh, how fun. But it was
Yeah.
warm enough to go swimming?
Sometimes,
Gosh.
or either we would just force it because we wanted to swim,
Is
so
Mr. Jerry still alive?
oh, yeah, he was the mayor of my town for a long time.
Well, I think does he still do an after Easter
I don't know, he moved, he doesn't
cookout?
live in that house anymore.
Okay.
I don't know that he does that anymore, but Mr. Jerry it was always fun, and all the kids, his kids, we would always run around and play, and it was always just
Oh,
really
sure, and have a big Easter egg hunt out on the grass.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. Yeah, we had a great time. Alright, so, okay, I think I just shared my Easter
Yeah,
memory. Do
so
you
now it's my turn.
Yeah.
What is your most well, you may have just said it, your
Oh,
most
I have another one too.
vivid oh, you do?
Mhm.
Okay, what is your most vivid Easter memory as a child?
Okay, this one is kind of sad in a way, but not really. But so the Easter that I was diagnosed with my kidney disease, I think I've mentioned before that maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so when I was 10 or 11 during spring break, I was at dance competition in Atlanta and I had a headache that would not go away and it was a bad headache. And I had a regular appointment with my pediatrician during the week of spring break and they wouldn't let me go home because my blood pressure was so high. So that's when I was admitted to find out eventually. I stayed in the hospital like a week that I had kidney disease. And that's what the blood pressure was a symptom of or whatever. But Easter was probably the next weekend after I got out of the hospital. And I was the main character in the Easter program.
Oh, no.
And so I did it, and I have the family, like, home videos of it, and you could tell I didn't feel good, but I pulled it off. But I remember my dad was so worried about me. And so that's like the Easter memory that sticks out the most.
Yeah.
Because daddy, as soon as it was over, he was like over there, like checking my blood pressure and all the things, making sure I was okay. But I did a good job, but I wasn't 100% for sure.
I bet that was scary. I bet that was scary for your parents to find that out because
Um,
especially as a young girl,
mm,
you had your whole life ahead of you for that darn kidney.
yeah.
And when you didn't and so you were able to make that kidney you were able to live off one kidney, I
Well, no,
guess.
both of my kidneys have kidney disease, and
Both.
so just it was sort of on the radar at some point in my life. I would likely need a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
So because of my disease, polycystic kidney disease. If anybody's wondering, I don't know if I said that, but yeah, it started with high blood pressure, and that was the kind of like tipping point. They wouldn't let me go home because it was so high. I think it was like 184/132,
Oh my gosh,
and I was
Brittany.
like 10 years old.
So
So
do you still check your blood pressure every
pretty much
day?
every day. Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
So
So
you're taking good care of yourself.
I try very hard.
And your blood
Yeah.
pressure's pretty normal? Like, does it ever spike up at all?
Yeah, it will from time to time.
And what do you do about that?
I have blood pressure medicine that I can take if I need to.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Gosh. I know
and then I just watch it.
we're kinda getting a depressing topic,
Sorry,
but
let's switch back to Easter.
so my most favorite vivid memory of Easter is my parents used to have a farm, and it was really just a place for my dad to get away and tinker and putter and play because his job as a business owner was so stressful.
Mhm,
So, he would tinker, putter, and play out in his big workshop
mhm,
and, tend to the fencing and the cows and stuff, and my mother would do stuff in the house,
mhm.
kinda like we do. We always hosted Easter at the farm,
Okay.
and we'd dye Easter eggs on Saturday night, and then
Mhm.
we'd hide them and have lots of Easter egg hunts, multiple Easter egg hunts
Yeah.
on Sunday. And she'd cook a big meal, and honestly, I don't remember what it was that she fixed. It definitely wasn't a ham, but everybody would come and spend the night, and, it was just a lot of fun.
Mhm. That
And then
sounds
my parents got older, and it got to be a little bit more work than they could handle having it, and I know that was a sad time for my dad to have to sell their farm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
What's a dish that always appears on your table at Easter?
Well, because we did the big breakfast growing up, it was, the big breakfast foods, and the cheese grits is something that I always remember for some
Yeah.
reason. But if we ever have a meal or if I have a meal, deviled eggs, of course. And I
Yes.
love to make the deviled eggs from the dyed Easter eggs because they're just so cute.
Oh, I know. You know
Cute.
what? Deviled eggs are the most underrated appetizer.
I agree.
I did a thing recently on my stories where I said, "Ask me anything about hosting."
Mhm.
I did a follow-up post about answering some of the questions, and one of them, several people said a good appetizer, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ladies,
Deviled eggs. And you
there
can make them fancy too.
everybody has these in your refrigerator, a
Mhm.
box of eggs, and 1 dozen eggs makes 24
Mhm.
deviled egg
Deviled eggs.
pieces."
Mhm.
And yes, you're right. You can make them fancy. You can put, I mean, Google
Oh, yeah.
fancy deviled eggs.
Mhm.
Anywho, I'm gonna do something about that because we need to bring back the deviled egg. There's nothing more perfect than a deviled egg and a glass of bubbly.
Yeah. So in our town, in Dothan, one of our claims to fame is we have a top chef, a Bravo top chef, Kelsey Barnard Clark is from our town, and she has a restaurant called KBC. And one of her signature dishes that season when she won was her deviled egg dishes. And so one of the appetizers on her restaurant menu is called Wicked Chickens, and it's 3 different deviled egg like fillings, if you will. Some of them have like pulled pork and barbecue sauce and crispy onions. There's one with jalapeno. I can't remember all the different ones, but you can make deviled eggs super interesting. So
You know that,
pimento cheese maybe on
that
one.
chili sauce that you like?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again?
Which one? Oh, well, all the chili sauces.
They're in
I love the
they're in a little jar.
chili onion crunch or whatever, chili
Chili
crunch.
onion crunch.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. Just a little
On top.
drizzle on the top
Yep.
with the crunch in there. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
We got to stop this. We always do this
So
with food.
yours is deviled eggs.
Yeah. What
Mine
about
that
yours?
always appeared on the table would have been probably what always appeared on the table is my mother would make a lamb cake.
Oh,
And I have the original
the molds.
mold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she would put coconut on it. And that was the one and only time we ate coconut because
Coconut. Your
none of
dad
us
didn't like it.
my dad loved it.
Oh, your dad loved it, but nobody else liked it. That's right.
No, and because he was outvoted, he never got it, but so that was just the one time that she would bring out this beautiful lamb cake that had the 7-minute icing that
Mhm,
I don't really care for, but I was too little to be discerning about my
mhm,
cake back then. It's that real whipped marshmallowy kind of
mhm.
frosting, and so the lamb would just have these peaks.
Stuffed.
Oh,
Mhm.
just look like a big thing of meringue. It was just gorgeous.
I love
And
that.
she'd bring it out on her white, um, milk glass cake
Mhm,
plate
mhm.
with Easter grass around it and jelly beans. Yeah,
Oh, cute.
that was always our centerpiece.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, did your family host or attend?
Well,
So back to your thing, you
as a
would go to
kid,
Mr.
with
Jerry's.
yeah, we would go to church and Mr. Jerry's growing up for the most part. But now every now and then there was a weird year or so, but my grandmother would host and we would go.
Ooh, Grandma
So,
Ella?
Granny Ella, the cook. I have an apron of hers that says it's embroidered. It's a blue jean with red embroidery, and it says, "Ella's the chef."
Oh, I
So,
love that. What would Ella always cook on Easter?
we would have probably a ham, all the fixins, I can't even think, but peas, butter beans, cream corn, all
Oh,
the things.
butter beans. I love butter beans.
So, it was very rare for us to have an Easter celebration because of the way we did church,
Yeah.
but now, when I host from time to time, and I'll just usually tag team with Anna and some other friends, and we'll do some sort of pork dish, most likely like a pork tenderloin, or we've done lamb chops, we've done all kinds of things, and then we'll do interesting sides. I have this really I can't remember where I found it, probably on Pinterest one time, but this is really pretty salad that you use oven roasted carrots in. You toss in the oven roasted carrots so they're kind of caramelized a little bit in the salad,
Yeah?
and that's really good. Yeah, and just kinda we just throw things together, whatever we're feeling, but we always have deviled eggs, so, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
What tradition stuck with you into adulthood?
Go into that sunrise service when I can. Um, that's really probably the main thing. Yeah. I mean, we
Mine
just
mine
yeah.
is I still try to well, there were 2 things that my mother did, and I'm gonna reshare this for this year to give for anyone who's new to my social media. My mother used to dip her fingers into powdered sugar, and then she would make the little bunny prints,
Mhm.
and she would leave an egg, and then, like, he or she had hopped around the house and left the eggs that we had dyed the night before.
Cute.
And so when you would put your fingers on it and if you put your, into your mouth, you would be like, "Oh, the bunny's prints were really sweet."
Mhm.
So I still tried to do that when Phoebe was little,
Mhm.
but, still, the child is 26 and gets an Easter basket, still.
Mhm. Mm.
And when she was little, I made her Easter baskets themed. Like, one
Mm.
year, it was all rainy day stuff, boots, an
Yeah.
umbrella, a raincoat. One
Mhm.
year, it was swimming, a new swimsuit,
Mhm.
goggles,
Mhm.
so I would have to say now that she's not living at home, I don't do the Easter tracks, bunny tracks, but I do try to still give her a Easter basket. It may
Mhm.
not be as elaborate.
Right.
I
Mhm.
found some cute ones at CVS. They're Peter Rabbit, and he's beautiful, and he's got his hands around a basket.
Cute.
It's
Oh,
really I may
rabbit.
get those for my niblets, I'm not sure.
That was my nursery, Peter Rabbit, and my brothers.
But
Mhm. So,
okay, so that's
hey,
our Easter, um,
traditions.
traditions.
Okay, so now let's talk table.
Mhm.
Mm.
This is
Easter
your
tables,
yeah,
tablescaping, and ideas for getting creative for your Easter tablescape. And I have some show and tells. But first, let's talk about sentimental Easter tablescapes or just sentimental tables in general. Pretty is wonderful. I love pretty. Everything's going to be pretty. But sentimental means that the pieces on the pretty table actually mean something to you. They have a history, they're part of your story. So for me, that might be using the dishes that belong to my grandmother or a platter that I thrifted and really love, or that reminds me of mom. I have one that I got, and it's actually a silver little tray and it has etched tulips in it. And then the handles are carrots, and for some reason, that reminds me of my mama. I don't know why, but it does. Or, like a dish pattern that you've collected over time. For me, that's Port Marion Botanic Garden. I started collecting that myself and continue to add to that collection. So those pieces kind of carry memories. And when you put them on the table, they become part of the gathering too. The story becomes a part of the gathering. And so when I think about an Easter table, I try to focus on making it more about being personal and seasonal and not just perfect and pretty, even though it'll end up being perfect and pretty because it tells your story. So
right.
I often use the same formula that I use when I decorate, which is my sentimental style formula: something living, something sentimental, and something that glows when I do a tablescape. So I like to use what I have that is meaningful, which oftentimes for me, that's dishes. I
Yeah.
love to mix and match patterns. I brought some show and tell. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching, you need to watch.
Which for those of you who don't know, when you filled out the survey, we found out the majority watch
Mhm,
because they love to see our faces and they love to see the show and tell that we do. Okay.
mhm.
Let
So
me
when I
ask Can I ask you a quick question? You
yeah,
mentioned your grandmother's china. What pattern is that?
I'm about to show you.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, so I like to mix and match, like, old and new, dainty and bold, a little bit of an eclectic mix. So this is my grandmother's wedding china, and it is Haviland Apple Blossom.
It's Haviland?
Yes.
Oh,
I was like, "Is it for sure?" It is. So it's Haviland Apple Blossom, and it's hard, it's kinda
it's
doing a weird
beautiful.
glare.
And what year were your grandparents married?
1950.
Wow.
And so I like to add this sort of bold
Yeah.
bordello. This is it's a pink, I don't know what it's called. I call it a bunny plate, but there's no bunnies on it. It's got carrots and
Cute.
cabbage. I
Yes.
think these are probably strawberries. So
Oh,
it's like a little carrot patch kind of
yes.
theme. Um, and so I like that plate stack. I think that's pretty fun because it's a little bit unexpected with the
I
dainty
love it.
pearl and the more bold, chunky bordello.
Yes.
And then another pattern stack that I really like that's not your Easter colors necessarily. I mean, that's your very traditional pastel. You can use all the Easter pastel colors with the Haviland and the bordello. But I like blue and green
Me too.
together. And so this is my mom's Spode, it's upside down, Spode St. Catherine's Court, Jane Seymour, St. Catherine's Court pattern. I want to say she probably got this at Dillard's like in the early 2000s, maybe. I don't really know. And then I like to mix it with cabbage ware. And then this to me is great to add the carrots as part of the decor, like doing a centerpiece with the carrots and down in the vase. Have you seen that where the orange carrots are in the vase and then the greenery from the carrots flow out and you can mix in flowers? And then I have
Yes.
some little not floral, fabric carrots that I incorporate in the napkins in the silverware and napkin ring situation. I can't words are escaping me. But I love to sort of do a little unexpected, and I love a little bit of whimsical on your tables. And
Yes.
so I have a good bit of my mom's Jim Shore, some Fitz and Floyd pieces, and they all have a little bit of whimsy. So for the centerpiece, keep it simple. You can cut some branches, cut some azaleas from the yard if you have them, and just put them in a simple glass vase or a few glass bud vases with azaleas down the middle. I love that. I also love like pots of African violets down the centerpiece. Like just they're just so dainty and
Can
cute.
you grow African violets?
No, I have to buy them from the store and keep them inside. But
And do they live?
yeah, I've got some that I got last spring that are popping back up, or like they're in pots. I
And
keep
they're
them.
blooming.
They're about to. I got
Do
some
you have them in
buds.
your kitchen window?
I have them in my sunroom.
And they like that light. I could
Mhm.
never grow African violets.
I've never tried to from scratch, but
They don't like me. I mean,
mhm,
I buy them from the nursery,
mhm.
they always have them under the grow light,
Yeah,
and
mhm,
I bring them home and they'll bloom, and then they'll die.
mhm.
So there's obviously something to this care and loving of an African violet.
Yeah. The other centerpiece I love is just simple milk glass vases, and then I've done this before, you just buy a bouquet of grocery store tulips, and then you just do 1 or 2 stems of the tulips in your tall, skinny, which you can get them at the thrift store now for 99 cents, just the milk glass vases, floral vases, and just
Yeah.
down the center of the table. I love that. I like centerpieces that are long and low,
Yeah. Because
and
everybody
so
can see each other.
Yeah, you
'Cause you
wanna
can
be able to
see each
see and
other.
talk. Last year, I attended an event right before Easter, and they were giving the flowers away at the end of the event, and so I brought a bunch home, and then I just collected a bunch of different vases and different, like, silver vases, glass vases, and just put them all on a silver tray in the center of the table,
Ooh, that's a great
you know?
idea.
So
Yeah.
it's just, like, mixture of things, but so centerpiece, just keep it simple, you don't have to go all out, and then for the glow, so living is your centerpiece, sentimental is your, you know, plates if you have some sentimental plates, and then for the glow, I love chunky glass hurricanes with pillar candles. I
Yeah.
love, brass candlesticks with tapers. I have some they're from Target years ago, but they're gold candlesticks that are flowers, and so they're perfect for spring, and then at the thrift store, I found I wish I would've brought those in here to show and tell, but they're little votive holders that are tulip shaped, and they're purple, orange, green, pink, yellow, and so I mixed those down the table with the centerpiece, the little tulips. I did that one year with the Haviland and Bordello combo. So it's just a mixture of, Easter colors. The other thing I love for glow is those rechargeable lamps, and,
Oh, yeah.
have you seen there's so many varieties now you can find on Amazon with the wicker shades, the white or the gold, but have you seen I'm gonna save that for my
Okay.
bliss.
Okay. What I wanted to add to your votive or
Mm.
your candlesticks is I bought a set of these on Amazon. You can also buy them from the manufacturer. They're called Base Vase, I think.
Oh, yeah, those are cool, like they're, glass tubes that fit in
Yes,
a candlestick?
they
Mhm.
look like test
Smart.
tubes,
Mhm,
and comes in a 3-pack. It's $30, and the tubes have these, rubber bands,
mhm.
wide bands on the bottom, and the bands are to kinda help
It's
I
stable.
if you need it to support standing up in the center of your candlestick,
Mhm.
but what it does is it transforms a candlestick into a bud vase,
I love that.
and they even
That's
go a step further, and if you have a wall sconce that's a
Mhm, I love that too.
candelabra, you can
Mhm,
make that into a vase.
that's cool.
So, I was just sitting here thinking, your tulip-shaped votive candles and,
Mhm.
you could pretty much turn that into a
Yeah.
tablescape, so I love all those
What's really
ideas.
cute Easter tablescape things is Anthropologie, which they're gonna be a little pricier, but they've got such cute, like, candlesticks for Easter and table, like, decorative things, like cute little wicker rabbits, and they have always such cute home stuff, Anthropologie. I usually wait till it goes on clearance, though.
Well, and you can also look at that and get
Oh,
inspiration.
yeah.
You can
Mhm.
find things like that somewhere
Mm.
else. There's always a cheaper brand.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, there's a new app I found and I put it on my phone, but I didn't pay for it. It's called, and you may already know about this, it's called Global SKU.
No.
You can take a picture of it and it'll tell you a lot of people are using this when they go to Goodwill.
Uh-huh.
They see something that they think is of value, you can scan it. Will
Mhm.
give you what it's selling for on
Interesting.
eBay, Etsy, and all that. You do
Oh,
have to pay for it, so I didn't do that, but you could do
that's
that when
cool.
you go into, like, Anthropologie and you see something, like that, you
Yeah.
kinda go, "Well, where else could I find it?"
Mhm. I love it. Those
Oh,
are my Easter sentimental tablescape ideas, though, but it doesn't have to be elaborate, A simple
yeah,
meal, simple table with just some, sentimental touches that are seasonal, and
absolutely, and the sentimental touch could just be your grandmother's linen tablecloth.
oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I have some really cute Easter linens, some that were my grandmother's, some that I thrifted. You can find stuff like that now in the thrift stores a lot, so
Absolutely, and it estate sales and,
estate sales, yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Okay, let me share some of mine.
Okay.
So, a garden table, I did this last year where I
Ooh,
took a lot of faux herbs that I found at Target that
okay.
were already in the pots, and then I made little you can go back to my social media and look at it from last year. I took little, paper bags,
Mhm.
gathered around it to make it look like I had just bought 'em at the
Uh-huh.
garden center, and I put a bow, and then I have a free set of tags on my website that are
Alright.
have Easter images and gardening images, and I had found at Daiso, I don't know if you have a Daiso, Japanese dollar store, placemats that were faux grass.
That's cute.
So I put those down. And I don't know, I had other bamboo flatware, and I think I did faux bordallo, cabbage, uh,
Mhm.
salad plates on top of my regular china, and then I put all of my Easter bunnies in the middle with all of the herb, and it just
Love
looked
it.
like, it was supposed to look like Peter Rabbit was in his garden
Mhm.
getting ready to munch down on all the stuff that Mr. McGregor had.
Very cute.
So,
Yeah, I
this
love
year, I
that.
think I'm gonna take that giant bunny that I have and spray paint him brown to make him look like a chocolate bunny.
Okay.
So that's a project that I've got on my list for this week. A sweet little vintage pastel table. I mean, there's nothing sweet than, like, having it be all yellow or yellow and green, but like baby yellow,
Yeah.
like Easter chick yellow
Mhm.
and soft pinks
Pink. Mhm.
and greens and blues. I think
Mhm.
it's a sweet little if you had like a gingham tablecloth that was maybe
Mhm.
green and white, and then you put down soft green or soft blue dishes, I think that would be really pretty.
Yeah.
And then natural, just,
Yeah.
a pretty white linen tablecloth, which you can find easily,
Yeah.
white dishes, and spring flowers.
Love it.
And then you get out all your white platters and your milk glass, and you just let the food and the flowers be the star of the show.
Mhm. I love it. Great
Yep.
ideas.
Okay, so we're moving on now to your favorite, and I'll start first. I'll ask you the questions. This
Okay.
is a segment called Porch Talk Speed Round, where we fire off quick questions, share even quicker answers, and let you peek behind the screen door to see who we really are. Okay,
Yes. Mhm.
5 questions.
Okay.
Favorite Easter candy of all time now and as a child?
Okay. Forever, it's sweet tarts, chicks, ducks, and bunnies. I'm a sweet tart kind of gal. And back when I was a kid, they were large. They were like an inch or an inch and a half. Now I don't find the big ones anymore. They're just the teeny ones, which
Yeah.
they're fine. But they were always in our Easter basket along with the malted chocolate ball eggs, which I really like. But I love the sweet tarts because I would just eat too many of them and they'd make my tongue raw.
Mm.
I don't know, it's just a memory I always have. I wish I could find the bigger size, which I probably shouldn't because it's probably not good for you, but I always buy the little ones even still this year.
Okay, so
During
that would be your favorite candy still now.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. Chocolate bunny. What do you eat first, the ears or the feet?
Ears.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know why, but ears. I
Do you
don't
apo
usually eat one though. I don't know.
do you
It's not
apologize before you take a bite and say, "I'm
no,
sorry"? No?
no.
You just figured, he knows he's going in. Pastel color you secretly love decorating with?
I don't think I'm secretive about my love for color at all, but
But you don't do a lot of pastels, though.
yeah, I don't do a lot of pastels. I have sort of, the blue, but it leans more turquoise in some regards. But I think I don't know if I could pick one. I love them all, especially with Easter tables, maybe yellow
Mhm.
because I don't do yellow a lot otherwise. So,
Yeah. Okay.
mhm.
Carrot cake or coconut cake?
So coconut, but do you know Italian cream cake?
Yeah, I do.
or as my grandmother called it, Italian
Italian,
cream cake.
Italian dressing, Italian cream cake.
Yeah. So it's a southern layer cake. It's got pecans, coconut, almond extract maybe, is that what it makes? But it's got a light crumb. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
You
really
probably really like
delicious.
hummingbird cake too, don't you?
Oh, I do like hummingbird cake, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a coconut person as a kid, but it's kind of an acquired thing that I've really kind of done. But yeah, so carrot cake is fine, but I would prefer the coconut or Italian cream cake. So,
Okay.
the cream cheese frosting.
And then what's one thing you always put in an Easter basket?
Well, sadly, I don't really create Easter baskets because I don't have any kids, but I would put those sweet tarts because our Easter bunny always puts sweet tarts in our basket. And we always got a new bathing suit. You mentioned that you did that for Phoebe one time, but I think it was because we were going to the pool that afternoon.
Oh,
We
yeah.
always got and it
Right.
was always either right it was our spring break as a kid was always planned after Easter, no matter when Easter came, the school I
Yeah.
went to. So, like, Easter would usually be the first weekend of spring break. So, after Easter, we would be going to the
To the
beach
pool
usually.
and to the beach.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, we always got a new and a VHS tape. So, I guess can't do that now, but, a book or something. So
Yeah. You could always do Easter baskets for your nibblings.
yeah, I mean, I have done them for them, just, like, smaller, not extravagant, like, when they come to my house, I've done Easter egg hunts here or not here, at my old house from time to time and would make a little Easter basket of fun things for them, but it's never big because I don't wanna outshine the Easter bunny.
Well, yeah.
So,
I think
uh
it yeah, well, the Easter bunny is who would leave the basket.
right,
Yeah, you didn't,
right.
but you would add things to it, and so you would give the Easter yeah.
That's a good point. Now, are you ready for the questions?
Yes.
Okay. So, what's your favorite Easter candy of all time, now and as a child?
I'll tell you what my least favorite Easter candy was, and I don't know that they do them so much anymore, but do you remember they were marshmallow eggs, but not like chocolate marshmallow eggs. They had a really hard,
Oh,
usually bright colored coating on the
yeah.
outside, and you'd bite into it, and it was like a solid,
Yes.
sugary,
Yeah,
marshmallowy,
I remember. I don't
nasty, and
mhm.
they're, like, cheap.
Yeah.
They're in little plastic bags, and you just would, litter the lawn with them.
Yep.
I hate those, and I would get those in my bag. I also did not like chocolate marshmallow eggs.
Okay.
Didn't like those. I was not a fan. And there
Mhm.
was a really sweet couple that were childhood friends of my parents. He was in my dad's wedding, and she would always give me those. And I was always very polite and said, "Oh, thank you so much." And then I
Mhm.
would give them to my dad and he would eat them. But that wasn't the question. The question was favorite candy. Reese's peanut butter
Mm. The
eggs.
eggs are superior.
Yeah, the
Mm.
eggs I didn't have back then, but it
Yeah.
would be like peanut butter shaped eggs, may not
Mhm.
necessarily been Reese's
Mhm.
or chocolate bunny. Can't go wrong on a chocolate
Mm.
bunny. But now I am like Janet. Did you happen to see her,
Oh.
Janet
Mm.
midlife
Yeah.
ride? She did that little cute thing on the Easter
Uh-huh.
candy with the chocolate Reese's eggs. It really is.
Mhm. It is.
It's just this really thick. Hmm.
It's perfect ratio of chocolate to peanut butter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I need some.
that would be my favorite.
I might have to DoorDash some.
No. That and some Olive Garden.
That's great. Okay. So chocolate bunny, do you eat the ears or the feet first?
The ears, because that's the closest proximity to when you're unwrapping it.
Yeah. Mhm. And it just
Yeah.
the feet are a little bit the ears are, like, more bite offable. I don't know if that's right. You know?
Yeah.
The feet are attached to more
Yeah,
things.
so I think I kinda,
Usually.
like, break off.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I actually take it in my
I
hands and
I don't
bite
either.
it.
I don't think
I
I do either.
probably just break a little piece off, wrap him back up, and then, slowly kill him
Mhm.
over time.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Bless his heart. Okay. Pastel color you secretly love decorating with?
Pink.
Pink.
I have pink, Jeanette milk glass,
Mhm.
that's just a real creamy, soft pink.
Oh,
I have some pink, baby pink glassware.
mm.
I just think a pink and white table,
Yeah, so pretty.
so pretty. Yeah.
So sweet. Okay, carrot cake or coconut cake?
Well, I would have to say neither because I'm not a coconut gal at all. If you offered me coconut cake at a dinner party, I would probably take a no thank you bite so
Mhm.
that I was not rude and wasteful of the cake. Carrot cake, I while do not mind
Same.
pecans in a pie, I don't like them in my cake.
So you don't like Italian cream cake
No.
because there's pecans in it.
Yeah, I just don't I'm not a big pecan I'm definitely not a walnut fan.
Okay.
And pecan pie, I will eat it as long as the pecans are chopped really and I
Yes.
don't like pecans in my chicken salad. People, come
Mhm.
on, don't. I don't like pecans in Jello.
That's interesting. Yeah, no.
That's a sin.
Mhm. I'm not a Jello person.
I don't mind a good Jello, good church lady Jello salad.
Okay.
But I would take a no thank you bite. Now, I do like cream cheese, and I know that carrot cake is a cream cheese kinda thing,
Mhm.
but sometimes don't they put coconut in carrot cake?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I, would take a no thank you bite of both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's one thing you always put in an Easter basket?
Well, in my house, the Easter bunny knows that my child loves Peeps.
Okay.
She gets that from her dad because
Mm.
he loves Peeps. In my opinion, a Peep is a one-way trip to having a diabetes, attack.
This is true.
'Cause
I
it is just sugar.
Yeah. I don't like them, and I have never liked them until toast them, roast them over a fire is
As
a
a s'more
whole different ball game when
yeah,
you do
as a s'more
Mhm.
add-on,
Mhm.
yeah,
'Cause it
I would have to
caramelizes the sugar kinda caramelizes
we did that one year for
I like
Easter. I think we had a fire in the fireplace. In fact, we may do that when the kids come, and we did, we melted the Peeps. That is the one and only time a
Mhm.
Peep, in my opinion, plays a good role,
I think I agree.
is as a s'more star. But
Yes.
other than just I would never in a million years just sit and watch TV and eat a Peep.
Yeah, no, no. Mm-mm. Me either. Not at all.
So, there you go.
All right. Those are good. We're
Okay.
similar and we're different. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, our next segment is about sentimental decorating, but the topic is heirloom worthy.
Mhm.
And I recently explored this topic on my Instagram and blog and newsletter and all the things because I like the concept of thinking about what is heirloom worthy to us, to you. And I like it so much because it expands the definition of heirloom a little bit beyond just things that you inherit, which yes, things you inherit are heirlooms, but like the hand-me-down furniture, decor, and dishes and stuff. But I think if you find something heirloom worthy, you can make it a central part of your story going forward.
Absolutely.
So I think we tend to assume that heirlooms always have to be something you inherit, be something old, rare, antique. There's meaning already attached to it, family history already attached to it. But I believe an heirloom isn't always something that you inherit. Sometimes it's something that you choose. Like I said, you can deem it heirloom worthy. And so I think this is an interesting idea because it means heirlooms can be a part of new traditions and that they can be the objects that become meaningful to you over time because you are using them, caring for them, keeping them, and bringing them into your life, into your everyday life or your special occasions so they become sort of memory markers for people in your life. And I think that's really, for me, what makes something heirloom worthy. It's not just where it came from, but the fact that it becomes a part of your story and your home and family through repetition. So like I said, I explored this a little bit a couple of weeks ago on Instagram because it's a topic that came up in the Storykeeper circle as we were doing our heirloom inventories and preserving the stories of things that we have. It's not always something that came from somebody else. It's something that you got maybe as a wedding gift that becomes an heirloom for future generations, or maybe it's a unicorn that you found at the thrift store and it's like, or the antique mall that is just something you love so much and it becomes such a part of the life and the memories that you're creating in your life that it becomes part of your legacy as well. And so I said something like the things you use every day are shaping your legacy because use and care and continuity of something that you love will show up again and again in your life and in your daily routines and in your holidays, and they start kind of gathering meaning, like meaning becomes attached to them, sentimentality becomes attached to them, and then they become part of the memory of your home for the people that are in and out of your home and in your
Yeah.
life. So,
And
that's kind of what I mean.
if you find one thing that maybe you found, it can
Mhm.
become an heirloom if you add to it,
Yeah, yeah.
make a collection.
Mhm. Exactly. I love to say adopt heirlooms. And so that's kind of the idea there. If it's something that you love and you're adopting it and making it a part of your story, and then it becomes sort of a statement piece in your home. People will remember it. Maybe it's the piece of furniture that, like for me, that was my first big girl antique buy. It's that Amish cupboard in my kitchen. I adopted that heirloom, but it's something that's such a part of my kitchen and my home and is going to be a part of the memories of the people that come in and out of my home. So if anybody in my family wants it, it's from Aunt B. It's not because it came from the vintage market, but
Right.
it it attaches meaning because it's used. And so some things I was thinking about, like maybe it's a set of dishes that you collect over time, like my Port Marion that I've started collecting that I mentioned earlier. Maybe it's something that you got that as a gift that comes out every year at the same occasion. It's the cake plate that you always put the birthday cakes on, or a cookbook that you cook out of for special occasions that becomes special because it's marked and worn and tied to the season of your life. And like I said, maybe it's that unicorn piece that you were looking for that becomes heirloom worthy because you're attaching meaning to it. So heirlooms, yes, are things you inherit that have the family history that go through generations, but you can be the beginner, the beginning person of an heirloom. That if it's something that you love and deem heirloom worthy, that you bring into your home and your life, and it becomes associated with you. And the memories are associated with you, and somebody that you love may want it because it's associated with you.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I love that.
What do you think?
Hey, I just love things.
Yeah, same.
I just love things that have meaning to me, like
Mhm.
seashells.
Oh, yeah.
You and I both have shell boxes,
Mhm.
and I have 2. One that I bought from a gal on Instagram, and she'd actually made it,
Mhm.
but it was from an old sample box of Lane furniture, I think. It was the
Mm.
box that the salesman would go around with to show you what your cedar chest would look like. So it was this sample box, and then she covered it with rope and shelves.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that cool? And then I found a shell box when I was in Maine, in Portland, Maine, at a shell store.
Mhm.
And I know it was probably new and made in China, but to me, it just represented my trip to Maine that
Mhm.
summer
Yeah.
and my love for shells
Mhm.
and my love for thinking of my mom and how she
Mhm.
loved shells.
And the
So
beach.
that's an example of how you can take something
Mhm.
brand new
Mhm.
and attach sentiment to it,
Yeah.
and then it becomes heirloom worthy.
Yes. And I think it's important for us to talk about it because not everybody, I mean, I'm fortunate because I have things that belong to my mom and my grandmothers, and none of it is really extravagantly rare or of high
Expensive.
expensive and high value. I mean, the dining table and chairs that my grandparents had that I have in my house was like the standard dining table and chairs for everybody in the 50s and 60s. It's nothing extremely unique about it other than my family gathered around that table. But not everybody has that. And so if you don't, it's okay.
It's
That's
okay.
okay. You can create that for you, things that are meaningful and sentimental and special to you that you want to keep the stories of, why you found it, how you found it, who gave it to you if it was a gift, and the story behind that. But then it attaches that sentiment, like you're saying, it becomes sentimental to you and therefore becomes a part of your repetition of your seasons, your days, your weeks, your holidays, and memories become attached to it for those in future generations of your family. So,
Yeah, we have been there have we've gotten some correspondence from people in our emails that have said,
mhm,
I want you to understand that you and Brittany are in a position where you're blessed that you have your mom's and your grandmother's things, but
mhm,
some people don't. I
mhm,
don't, is what this person said. And so, how do I create a home that seem sentimental.
Mhm.
Another thing that you can do is make your cookbooks be an
Yeah,
heirloom.
I love that.
And the way that you do that is, even if it's a brand new cookbook, is you write in it
Mhm,
in your handwriting.
mhm.
There's nothing more meaningful to me. When Phoebe was born, every month of her first year of life, I baked a birthday cake to celebrate her being 1 month old, 2 month old, 6 month old, all the way up to a year. At the time, this cookbook called The Cake Mix Doctor was
Oh,
a
yeah.
popular book. I bet your mom even
I
probably
think
had
I
this.
remember it.
And so I would go through and I would pick a cake that I would make. And basically, the cake mix doctor everything started with a box mix, and then you would add things to it. And I was looking through it, not recently, but not too long ago, and my handwriting
Mhm,
of with the date of
mhm,
so she was born 2/12/2000. So let's say it's 3/12/2000.
mhm.
I would
Aw,
write, I made this cake for Phoebe's 1 month birthday.
aw.
So, you can make something sentimental that's brand new
Mm,
by personalizing it,
yeah.
by collecting it, by making it prominent, by sharing its story of why you love it.
Mhm,
And that's how you can carry on
mm,
tradition. So,
yeah. I love that.
okay. So now we're going to move on to Blessed. I had to share it where we share things we're loving right now. And I know you're super excited about what you've got. So why don't you just go first?
Okay. So I kind of was gonna talk about it in the tablescape thing about the rechargeable lamps. Okay.
Yeah, but you stopped yourself.
But I stopped myself because I didn't wanna get the cart before the horse. So I have these rechargeable lamps. These are from Amazon and they're black, but they come in all different colors. And I kinda wish I had a white set or maybe a gold set. I have the little stick gold ones, but you really need one like this that has the shade for what I'm about to show you. Have you seen these
Did you
add-on paper shades?
No, where did you find
So,
those?
okay, that's the thing. I
I
found a
well, let
place.
me let me say they do have some on Amazon
Okay.
that are like our companies that we love that do hand block,
Yes.
like the Cotton Print Club and Ritty.
Pretty.
They have
But
both started with covers.
yes, but those are fabric.
Right.
Right. So these are just paper and you fold it over and it has a adhesive tape thing and you stick them together. And this one has the pink bows with green lattice.
Those.
And this was hydrangeas. Okay. So
Oh,
I got these from a local gift shop and it's Two's Company. So I thought surely there would be some on Amazon because there's a ton of Two's Company. I could not find any today when I was looking, but I did find a few places online that I'll link in the show notes where you can buy them online. But check your local gift shops and boutiques that carry this kind of stuff because
yeah,
they're
Two's
super
Company's a
cute.
pretty popular and that
Mhm.
one with the
Yeah,
bows,
wholesale brand.
and it
Mhm.
looks like I know it's paper, but it looks like it's like
Yeah.
rickrack.
It's like a cardstock, very thick,
Yeah.
and they just fold around. I love the little hydrangeas. They fold around and then they just slip on top of your rechargeable lamp that you have.
Yes. So you can change the look up.
Yeah, and so I had a few at Christmas and I have these black ones. Oh, well, for now they're right by my either side of my stove, but they move around all the time. And so I put a little Christmas one on for the Christmas season. But I just think it's a fun way to dress them up. And so I'll link what I can find online, but check your local boutiques and shop small for these.
Well, it
So,
looks like Bobby's shop.
okay.
That was the
One of the
first.
ones I found that was really cute is like Fairly Fancy, but Fairly is spelled well, I guess Fairley,
Oh,
fancy.
yeah, I see it. They have
The
stripes.
striped ones are super cute. I think those would be super cute on an Easter
Yeah, I
table, the
love
pastel
that.
stripes.
And the
So I'll
thing
link
about
those for
that
sure.
is that those are low profile,
Mhm.
so you could easily just stack them in your dish pantry
Yeah,
or unfold them again and put them
mhm,
back in their original packaging,
and they're only like $7.50, $8 for a pair, so that's
and
not
you've
too bad.
changed up your whole look
Mhm, mhm.
in a bathroom, in a nursery,
Yeah,
on your table outside. I love that. What a
yeah.
good one.
So and then it can kind of if you find one, you can kinda build a tablescape around it, like
Yes,
so if you do use them on your tables, so
I
mm,
love that.
I love the
Okay,
striped ones. I'll link the striped ones. I know those are available
those
online.
are adorable. Okay, so mine is my cocktail, and I'm
Yes,
glad I showed it at the top of the show
look
because
at
I've been
you already halfway through.
mhm. This is a mocktail,
Mm,
but I think you could easily add gin or vodka. It's a key lime shamrock smash. Say that 5 times
Key
fast.
lime shamrock that's hard. Key lime shamrock smash.
Yes.
Does it have bubbly water in it? Okay.
That's your favorite.
Mm,
It doesn't
I love
have
lime.
it doesn't have the lemon LaCroix, but it has key lime
I love
LaCroix.
that's probably my second favorite LaCroix flavor.
Okay. So I was trying to find something that I could serve as just a fun little cocktail for St. Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
I'm not a big celebrator of St. Patrick's, but a
Yeah.
green cocktail, why
Yeah.
not? So I got online and got on Pinterest and looked through all my cookbooks and I couldn't find anything. And I thought, you know what? I'm sure LaCroix.com
Yeah.
has a website with
Mhm.
recipes. So this
Mhm.
is the recipe. You take 10 basil leaves,
Mm.
and this calls for honey syrup, which is basically like simple syrup, but it's honey and water.
Uh,
I think if I were to do it again, I just would do simple syrup because it's a whole lot easier.
easier.
Honey syrup is basically equal parts honey, equal parts water.
Mhm.
A half of a kiwi that you've peeled and cubed, half of an ounce of lime juice. And I didn't do it today, but I do have edible gold leaf glitter that you
Mhm.
can put around the rim as
Cute.
the leprechaun's pot of
Uh-huh.
gold.
Pot of gold.
Yeah. So what you do is if you're going to do that, you would take your honey or your simple syrup and you'd put that around the rim and then you dip your glitter in there.
Mhm.
In a cocktail shaker, you add your basil leaves and your honey or your simple syrup and you muddle firmly to release the basil leaf oils. Don't tear the basil, but just compress it.
Mhm.
Then add your kiwi and muddle until it's all broken down. Well, the kiwi's broken down.
Mhm.
Add coconut water. I think I missed saying coconut water. Lime juice and ice, and you shake for a really good 30 seconds. And I learned this from Ina Garten is that you never want to put cold ingredients into a shaker with ice because it'll
Mhm.
cause the ice to melt.
Oh.
So you always want to start with room temperature lime, room temperature coconut water, room temperature anything.
Mhm.
Add your ice and then shake
Okay.
and set a timer because 30 seconds is actually longer than you think
Thank
it
you.
is.
Mhm.
And it'll get really good and cold in your hand.
Mhm.
Then you strain that into a cocktail glass that's been filled with ice and top with your
Key
key
lime,
lime LaCroix.
which my
And
brother says tastes like a watered down Skittle.
and then you can add, an ounce of gin or an ounce of vodka,
Mhm.
depending on if you wanted to elevate a little bit. But honestly,
Mhm.
it is really good.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, that sounds great. We'll have to put that recipe in the show notes for
Yeah,
y'all.
I'll send that to you. So that's my blessed. I had to share it.
I love it. Well, it's
It's time to say
time to close
goodbye.
the show.
Yeah.
Gosh, this has been
We
a
talked
good
about
one.
some good things. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But so in our closing, we always do a toast to sentiment, and it is my week to share where we do sort of a toast to something that's meaningful. It might be we might use a story, a quote, a poem, but we end with the toast to sentiment and an encouraging word for y'all. And so, in the vein of the things that we talked about today, about heirlooms and meaningful pieces in our homes and on our tables. So I'm gonna come back to that. I keep coming back to this simple truth that most heirlooms don't begin as heirlooms. They begin as ordinary things used in ordinary moments. And it might be the dish that appears on the table again and again, or for celebrations. It might be the pitcher that you put your grocery store flowers in every Friday. If you do Friday flowers, it might be a recipe that shows up in special occasions in your family. It might be the lamb cake recipe that your mom used to make.
Mm.
Nothing about those things feels monumentous in the moment, but they just become familiar. And over the years, that familiarity becomes comfort and eventually nostalgia for the people in your lives. And one day, someone realizes that those simple objects were actually part of the story all along. And so, heirlooms gather meaning because someone decided the items were worth keeping and worth moving forward and using. And so the items you are living with today, using, honoring, sharing with people in your life, may be shaping someone else's memories. And so that makes them heirloom worthy. So we're going to toast today to the stories we inherit, yes, but to the ones we're also creating right now. So cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, because I was just thinking about your mom. When Dawn bought those beautiful blue and white dishes at Dillard's,
Yeah.
she wasn't thinking, oh, these are going to be an heirloom someday.
Right.
She bought them saying, these are going to make my table look fantastic.
Mhm.
And I love them. They
Yep.
became an heirloom because they were loved.
Mhm.
And I love putting that into perspective.
Yeah. And I think that's why so many of her things, even though they're not high value necessarily, and they're not rare or antique, a lot of them were not, but they were things that showed up in our lives that marked special occasions or marked our everyday lives. And I keep them because it brings those memories to me. Yes, we inherit heirlooms. We inherit stories, but we're creating them now and writing them today for future generations. And so what you use and love today shapes your legacy. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so that's all for today's episode of the Sentimental Twist podcast.
Mhm.
We want you to, we love comments
Mhm.
anywhere, comments on Instagram, the Sentimental Twist podcast on Instagram, comments on our YouTubes, comments on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to the podcast. Leave a review, share it with your friends. Help us to share what we're so passionate about meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
Yes.
Share that with other people that you think would enjoy hearing our messaging.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm on Instagram at Home with a Twist. YouTube is Home with a Twist, and homewithатwist.com is my website, Brittany.
And I am at Brittany Shepard on Instagram, the sentimentaldecorator.com, and Brittany Shepard TST on YouTube.
Yeah,
So,
it brings us so much joy to meet and to be wherever you are listening
mhm.
every week.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us on the Sentimental Twist.
Where we believe every space tells a story.
And every story deserves a place at the table. Until next time.
Keep things cozy, collected, and a little bit sentimental.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.
everybody.